So Jo, we talk about helping people get to decision-making tables. You wake up in the morning and you find that you have a seat at the national decision-making table. What is a topic that rural Australia is focusing on that you would want to put front and centre while you had that chance?
Do you know what? I wouldn't actually choose a topic, I don't think. I would be, I guess, influencing or suggesting or shouting that how are we making sure that there is constantly rural, regional and remote people at that table I've found myself. So what are the things that we're putting in place to make sure that there is representation from the regions, but also that it's not just going to Old Faithfuls, that organisation or that, federal level. We go to that person that we know that lives in that certain bit that we have on high rotation. How do we make sure that not only there's people from Triple R Australia in that room, but that we're spreading it around, that there is diversity in that geographic diversity?
That's a really good point. I think it is challenging sometimes to think about how we can differentiate what are the challenges for rural Australia as opposed to metro and urban Australia. And honestly, they're not different. Housing, childcare, access to workers, people feeling safe, etc., etc. The challenges are not different. How we deal with them, how we solve them, and how we fund them, that's where the context is really important. And I think it is around how do we look at what are the funding models that are different. When we talk about childcare and unlocking what seems to be a really basic problem that we all have, what does that actually mean for regional Australia? How we can get more women back into work, how we can use remote working in different ways. I think it is that piece. For me, if I was at the national decision-making table, it would be around first, how can you understand the regions, and then how can you support them? Because I think we need to remember that we assume positive intent. We assume that urban and metro do genuinely want all of Australia to succeed, as we do in the regions. A rising tide lifts all ships. And so then it is around how those tides are different and what that means in terms of actually supporting all of Australia to do really well. Because we do genuinely live in the lucky country. And then it's about how do we make sure that pockets and regions across all of Australia have what they need to succeed.